Hi, my name is Dynasty. Welcome to TV 1061. Join our network and broadcast your event live across the continent. Come to our studio and film and stream your talk show, sitcom, showcase, and broadcast it worldwide. Combine multimedia with your live stream. Independent filmmakers, show your movie and afterwards interview your cast live. Sponsors, advertisers, I'm talking to you. This is your chance for global exposure. These are very exciting times we live in. Traditional TV is all but a thing of the past. TV 1061 is now on the Roku platform with a viewership of 46 million and counting. Roku is an industry leader on internet TV. It is the most popular and fastest growing internet TV platform. If you are interested in developing and streaming your own show or movie, or coming in as a sponsor or an advertiser, please send your contact information with a short description of your interest to 1061tv@gmail.com. Thank you.
Good evening, good evening. Welcome back for another good show of Ask Coach Roy. We have a great show today. Today, I'm going to be speaking on understanding credit, credit repair, as well as understanding the three major credit bureaus. Most people don't realize that there are three major credit bureaus, and they are Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And they're located in different parts of the United States. I'll explain a little more about that a little later on in the show, but we're going to start out by just talking about the basics. When you do an application for credit, whether it's a credit card, in-store application, purchase a vehicle, trying to open a checking or savings account, the creditor actually pull a credit report. When they pull that credit report, the reason they're able to pull the credit report is because they're in a contractual agreement with the credit bureaus. They pay a large sum to become a member, as well as they pay for each individual pull, and they also pay a fee to report your account monthly. So let's start off by understanding that the credit bureau, their client, is the creditor. In other words, Bank of America, Credit Union, Navy Federal, American Express, or what have you, the credit bureau's loyalty is to them because they pay them. So when you start dealing with the credit bureau in reference to trying to eliminate a bad account or account that's not yours, you may get a little pushback in the beginning. So that's why a lot of times you can go online and buy credit repair packages. You can have people that say they can repair credit, but it's not always the big things. It's a lot of times the little things that you don't know that credit repair companies are able to do. One of the things that credit repair companies do in the beginning, they freeze your credit. And what I mean by freeze your credit, they actually put a freeze on credit at the three major bureaus. And by freezing the credit, it stops the major credit bureaus from interacting with one another, verifying data from each other's databases. A lot of credit repair companies would not tell you that. In addition to that, you want to freeze your credit with Nexus, Lexus, and SageStream. Those are independent companies that sell information to the 3 major credit bureaus. You want to freeze those companies as well. And those companies pick up on a lot of public records and things of that nature, so that the credit bureaus are unable to get that information. Okay. Once you have frozen the credit bureaus, frozen the outside sources, you've cut down communication with the bureau, then you go in and you actually deal with the individual bureaus. For instance, one of the bureaus is Equifax. Do anyone know where Equifax is located? Atlanta. Okay. The other bureau, Experian. Experian is located in Allen, Texas. Then you have another bureau, TransUnion. TransUnion's facility where you deal with the credit is in Chester, Pennsylvania. Well, when you think about that with an open mind, if you were dealing with a company and they just happen to be in your city, but the home office is in Texas, more than likely that company, during the time that it was set up, they entered into a contractual agreement with Experian because it's in their state, it's local, they're more apt to pick up on the credit files of individuals in Texas using Experian being the primary source in terms of credit bureaus. Okay. As these companies grow, if they're already a large company, they may decide to do Experian and Equifax, or they might decide to do Experian and TransUnion. That's why when you look at a credit report, for those of you who've looked at a credit report, you will notice some accounts are on Experian, some are on Equifax, some are on TransUnion. Every account that you have is not on all 3 bureaus. And as a result of that, your scores will be somewhat different. You may be 690 on Equifax. You may be 710 on Experian, and you may be 760 on TransUnion. And it kind of all depends on what's on your report. And what we're going to get into later is not just what's on your report, it's the type of accounts, the high limits. You could have a $20,000 credit card, and it could be $18,000 of the credit already used. Well, that will cause a decrease in your score. Why? Because if you max your credit cards out, your unsecured debt out, then theoretically, the lenders are saying, hey, there may be an issue with cash flow. So it takes the score down so that it can decrease your buying power. Pretty much, it's just like supply and demand. You know, when the supply is low and demand is high, the price go up. When the supply is plentiful, then the price go down. So credit kind of moves with the economy when you start looking at the big picture. One of the things you have to be very mindful of is that these credit bureaus, again, they only make money because the creditors pay them to join, pay them to pull credit for each and every single credit report that's pulled, and pays them to report monthly. Now, when you are given credit, it moves on a 30-day cycle. And a lot of times people think if you call the finance company and you tell them, hey, I'm having a bad month, I'm not going to be able to pay this month, I'll just make 2 payments next month. And the finance company say, okay, but that still does not stop the automatic reporting. The system automatic reports that you missed that 30 days. You may not get any letters in the mail because you made arrangements. You may not get any phone calls, but you're damaging your credit. And what you have to understand, you have to set up a budget, and you have to have an itemized form so that you can see what your monthly bills are and what dates they are due on. Because sometimes you can, for lack of words, circumvent the system by saying, okay, my car payment is due on the 10th. I got another bill that's due on the 25th. And I have my phone bill that's due on the 1st, cell phone bill. Well, your cell phone is not revolving credit. It doesn't show up on your credit report. Only thing show up on the credit report is at the time you got the phone is where they pull your credit for the inquiry. So if you got all of your bills in front of you and you're having a bad month, a short month, or you had some emergency or 2 that came up, if you got I find that if you got everything written down and you know the due dates, then that $200 cell phone bill and maybe the cable bill that was due on the 5th, you may be able to take those 2 bills and pay what the car payment that's due on the 10th, and the car payment money that you were going to use on the 10th, you may be able to pay, instead of paying it on the 10th, you may be able to pay it on the 25th. In the meantime, you're able to take care of your immediate revolving bills. And another thing you can do is, let's say that bill that's due on the 10th, you could pay it on the 9th of the following month. And you still won't incur a 30-day late. Now you can call and make arrangements and say, hey, I'm not going to be able to make my car payment on the 10th. However, I'd like to double up next month. And they say, okay, so that stops the calls, it stops the letters and so on and so forth. But on the 9th, you need to pay that bill. It don't fall in the 30-day category. And then if you pay the next bill a week or 2 later, or if you pay it on the 9th of the following month, you're beating the 30-day cycle. You got to beat the 30-day cycle if you're going to maintain good credit. Because with all the knowledge I have about credit repair, all the credit repair companies I've talked to, all the seminars and workshops I've gone to, it's almost impossible to remove a late payment. But you can call and talk with the creditor direct, and in some instances, based on your track record of always paying on time, they may work with you 1 or 2 times. So that's a freebie I just gave you. Okay. In addition to the 30-day cycle and the fact that you cannot allow your unsecured credit, whether that be a credit card, or a line of credit, you're not going to be able to max that credit out. And if you get it too close to the limit, again, it's going to suppress your score, make it go down. So what I always encourage, your credit line and your credit cards, try not to allow them to exceed 30% of the line of credit. And that will keep your score up. It will actually push your score up. Now, should you decide that I need to use this card and I'm going to pay it off every month, well, you can't just say on the first I'm going to pay it off. You really have to look at the due date for that account. And if that account is on the 15th and you have a $20,000 line of credit and you go ahead and max out and have $18,000, $19,000 on this credit, and then on the first you pay it down to $2,000, you might as well keep your money. Because what's happening is it's due on the 15th. And when that bill is due on the 15th, within 7 days or less, the creditor has already reported to the bureau. So if it's due on the 15th and they end up reporting on the 20th, then what happens is it's reported at 18 or 19,000, whatever that limit is. So on the first, when you pay it off, it's not helping you. It helped you in terms of you paid it off and you can use it again, but the reality of it is what you're trying to do with credit, it just worked against you. And that's another key point that people don't understand about credit. We've talked about the 3 credit bureaus. We talked about the credit freeze. I've had people to call and ask me and say, hey, I heard I could clean my credit off with a police report. Well, we're gonna take a break, and when I come back, we're gonna pick up with, I thought I could clean my credit with the police report. Thank you very much.
Source of CBD products. Introducing Holistic Wellness Boutique, a revolutionary collection of CBD tinctures, CBD topicals, CBD edibles, CBD pet products, and other relevant CBD products that help you incorporate CBD into your everyday lifestyle. The best part? Through our special Radiant Transformations program, Dr. Alea Daniel, PharmD, a well-regarded wellness coach, licensed pharmacist, and the mind behind the idea of Holistic Wellness Boutique, will also introduce you to a healthier lifestyle through proper education, nutrition, and a thorough medication evaluation to make the most of our exemplary CBD products. If you are struggling with a chronic condition, we can help you discover how to live a more holistic lifestyle through wellness coaching and the proper selection of hemp-derived CBD products. Visit holisticwellnessboutique.com to schedule a consultation or order an audacious combination of hemp-derived CBD products that will rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. How can you...
Hello, we're back, and we're coming back to someone asking me about they've heard you can repair credit with a police report. Well, that's a tricky question. Most of the time when people ask that question, they don't understand that there's a reason police reports can get involved, but you can't just repair credit with a police report, okay? But there's something called identity theft. And should you have identity theft and you had to file a police report, then you would attach it with the other information that you would need to send into the Bureau. And a lot of people have went out to challenge their credit report by saying all of these items are not theirs. You really don't want to do that. That's fraud, and you can get in trouble with that. So you got to know what you're doing when you start dealing with police reports. I don't recommend it unless it's a real situation, and also I never use a police report to clean credit. It's not necessary. Once you have a decent understanding of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, or you have the proper documents, you can challenge your report and be very successful. As you notice on the screen, some of my social media contact, also my website at coach_roy.com. You would be able to go onto that site and purchase what you need to be able to challenge your report successfully. So be careful listening to people about police reports. We have a caller. Let's see who it is. Hold 1 minute. Hello, you've reached Ask Coach Roy. How may I help you today?
Hi, Coach Roy. My name is Don. I'm actually calling you, looking at your episode about credit, and I heard you talk briefly about it, but I had a question about what actions hurt my credit.
What actually hurts your credit?
Yes, what hurts my credit? What impacts my credit score? I'm sorry.
There's various things that impact your score, such as I stated earlier on the show, when you have unsecured credit, you do not want to exceed 30% of the high limit. If you do, it needs to be paid off 4 to 5 days before the due date, or paid down 4 to 5 days before the due date. Again, if the due date is the 15th, then you want to make a payment on that particular account by the 10th, so that by the 15th, it's at 30% or less, and by the 20th, when it's reported to the Bureau, it's not going to impact your score, causing it to go down. So that's one thing. In addition to that, inquiries. Inquiries can impact your score. One of the things that I think consumers mess up on is when they're making a car purchase. For instance, they'll go to the Nissan dealership, look at a car, test drive it, like it, give the salesman the information, the salesman take it back to the F&I people. the F&I people will pull, they'll end up pulling your credit report or sending it to, they'll pull it once at that particular dealership. Then they'll send it to 4 or 5 of the lenders that they deal with. Well, that's 5 inquiries. And each of those credit pulls could pull your score anywhere from 2 to 5 points per pull. Then what the consumer would do next, they'll leave Nissan and go over to Toyota and do the same thing. And at that point, you may have 12 inquiries that you pulled that day on your credit report that was pulled by those 2 dealers. Okay, well, what happens is your score could be impacted anywhere from 24 points to 120 points, or anywhere in between, because you didn't understand what inquiries do to your credit report. Okay, so inquiries can impact it. Your unsecured credit limits being too high can impact it. We also know paying 30 days, 60 days, 90 days late can impact it. We also know that the scoring system looks at how many years you've had accounts or you've been in the bureau. That impacts it. So pretty much, a lot of what impacts your credit report, you can actually control. And you can control it because instead of going to the, now I'm crossing over to telling you how to buy a car, I guess, but basically, I never go to the car lot asking them to get me finance.
Okay.
You go to your local bank.
You just confused me for a second. I don't want to cut you off, but you just 2 different things. You said credit reports and credit score. Is that the same thing, or is that something different?
No, credit reports and credit score. A report shows you the score, and that score goes to 800. And so you could be anywhere from 0 to 800. That could be your beacon score.
And are there, I know you're just referencing about a car, because I'm actually in the process of looking to get a new vehicle. I know you said I was going to lenders and not having them to pull my report, but is there minimal accepted score that if I was going into a dealership that I need to have before even going into looking at the process of buying a car? Is there a certain score I need to have, or something I need to make sure that's on my report that's going to give me the best rate for a financing deal?
That's a loaded question. Depending on your situation, whether you have multiple credit accounts or whether you have one credit account, your credit file could show a 750 and you only have one credit account, and it could be a off-brand credit card or a high interest rate credit card with a $300 limit. You may have only used $20 and it's showing a 700 score. So now you go to get financing and you probably won't be able to get a vehicle with that one account. So it's score / accounts on your credit and the length of time you've had those accounts. All of those are contributing factors to determine whether you can be financed. But as I was stating earlier, it would be best to go to your bank or credit union and have them to pull your credit and see what they will qualify you for. And then you know how much buying power you have. When you go to the car lot, now you just go and fit. If they said you could get $30,000, $35,000, then you go look for a $30,000, $35,000 car. They will give you the bill of sale. You take it back to your bank. They give you a check, you bring it back to the car lot. Now you only got one inquiry. That makes sense to you?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Thank you, caller.
Thank
You have any more questions? Anything else?
Nothing else right now. Continue.
Okay. Thank you, sir. We got another call here. Hello. Ask Coach Roy. May I help you? Hello? Hello? Ask Coach Roy. May I help you?
Hi, Coach Roy. I have a few questions for you. I was watching your show.
A few questions. Okay. Go ahead.
I have one question. So on my credit, I have a police report. Can I get anything close to that removed?
You say on your credit you have a police report?
Yes.
I mean, you have a police report on what? Someone broke into your vehicle? What?
Well, no, my car. Well, it's not about my car. It's about a credit card that I had on my credit.
And so, and that credit card is on your police report?
Yes.
Was it your card or is it a card that someone got in your name?
It was a card that someone got in my name. It wasn't my card. I was just wondering, can that be removed from my credit?
Yes. If you have a police report and someone got a credit card in your name, yes, you'll be able to do that, as well as you would want to file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission as well. And in doing so, you would take the police report, the complaint you did with Federal Trade Commission, and you would send it in with the additional information that you'll be able to get off of coach_roy.com, or you can look at my social media, TikTok, Instagram, so on and so forth. It will lead you to a store where you'll be able to purchase the additional documentation a la carte based on your situation.
Okay, and also, well, I heard your social media names, and I had one more question for you. My wife said that some friend of hers had a couple of doctor bills as well. Like she had a surgery, but they had sent her to collections for that. But she wanted to know if that could be removed.
Is it her bill?
No, it's not her bill.
Yes, that can be removed, and that falls under the Fair Court Reporting Act under Section 609. That deals with a physical verification or proof from that particular collection agency or doctor's office and looking for a signed documentation. And again, you will be able to go on to coach_roy.com, and there's some documentation for you there that will be able to solve that issue as well.
Okay, and the last question that I have for you. If my credit score is under 630, will I be able to purchase a vehicle, or what will I have to do? Well, that's two questions, but what will I have to do to get my credit to where I can have buying power?
Okay, if your score is under 630, yes, you can purchase a vehicle. However, there's a lot of factors involved to determine what your interest rate will be and how much you would have to put down. But you can purchase.
Okay.
And if you're going to work on your credit, you know, a lot of people don't realize you're entitled to one free credit report a year from all three lenders. A lot of times you're able to get that report from Annual Credit Report or freeannualcreditreport.com, something like that. You will be able to get the free report, so you will be able to see what's on your report. Now, me personally, I highly recommend creditchecktotal.com, sir. And the reason I recommend it because that monitoring service has been the closest for me when I'm looking at my own personal credit and I'm getting ready to make a major transaction. I always look at it. As a matter of fact, I just keep that service year round, and that's creditchecktotal.com. And
You said check total?
huh?
You said credit check total?
Creditchecktotal.com.
Okay.
And again, that service tends to be as close to what you're gonna see at the bank when they're pulling your credit report, and you're gonna be able to pull a tri-merge. Tri-merge meaning you're gonna be able to pull Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, and then you're able to take and look at it and see if you need to look at your report to make sure they have your updated address. You need to make sure that you have the correct job. And it could be addresses on your credit report that's not yours. You need to remove those addresses. And I mean addresses that were never yours. All that stuff need to be cleaned up because it's impacting your score, and it may have a lot to do with someone trying to use your credit before, as well as an account that's on your credit that's not yours. And because it's being reported, it's being shown as an address or a job that's yours.
Correct.
Okay?
Yes.
Did I?
How long will it take for those inquiries to be removed if I were to go through the process with the information that you have on your Coach Roy website?
You could have inquiries be removed based on the information that you are able to get off of my site in 24 hours. A lot of times I take the 1 week, 2 week route, but you could actually do it in 24 hours.
24
and
hours.
That's explained, yes.
That's amazing.
And I think that's only a little $24 package.
Yeah, I would definitely have to look into that after we get off of this call. Yeah, that sounds amazing. 24 hours, that means I could probably go purchase a car the next day. With those inquiries off my credit, I'll have a 730.
That's correct.
Wow, that's amazing, man. Thank you again, Coach Roy. I will be in contact with you. Do you have any other ways of contact, like email, phone number?
Yes. I can be reached at 770-823-5550.
$5550? 5550?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. And email?
You can reach me on the email ask Coach Roy.
Okay.
Ask Coach Roy 1@gmail.com.
Ask Coach Roy 1@gmail?
At gmail.com.
Thank you again. Thank you again, Coach Roy.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, as I was saying, okay, that was a caller there that came in, and I think the audience you heard, he kind of called in asking about that police report situation. But based on what he asked, he can use the police report with no problem because he actually had identity theft. Okay, so we're gonna move on to, I think I ended up saying about the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and Section 609 is the section that allows you to challenge things on your credit report that's not yours, because it's the section that requires the creditor and the bureau. It actually requires the bureau to ask the creditor for proof wanting a signature. So again, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back to talk some more about credit, credit repair, and the 3 major credit bureaus. Okay, we'll be right back with you. Thank you very much.
Michael Kyle, you're funniest man on the planet, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Stay tuned, because that's how they do it over here. Big time party. All right, see y'all later.
Hi, I'm Harry Lennox, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Hi, I'm Harry Lennox, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network.
Okay, welcome back. Okay, here on Ask Coach Roy, again, we're dealing with credit, repair, understanding credit, and information about the 3 bureaus. One of the things that you will be able to do as you go in and get your information off of coach_roy.com, as you go in and you get your PDFs to deal with your personal credit, you will be able to also take that information and assist someone else with their credit. And if you want to, you can charge them. You pay for the information. However, one of the things that you will learn to do, you'll learn to remove inquiries, and you could remove them anywhere from 24 hours to 2 weeks. You'll learn how to remove car repos. You'll learn how to remove bad credit cards, bankruptcy, liens, tax liens, hospital bills, and other collections, apartment collections, foreclosures. You'll even learn how to remove evictions from your credit. and from public records or whatever the case may be. So it's quite interesting how easy this really is. A lot of times the credit repair companies don't want you to know. And I charge $4,500 to do all 3 bureaus. But with this package, you're able to do it yourself for cents on a dollar. You're going to be able to do it yourself. You won't have to pay me $45. However, if you decide that you want it done for $45, I will do it. But it's just too easy. It's too easy if you take your time, because no one knows your situation better than you do. And that's what I always tell people. And you don't have to know all the ins and outs, because we put it together for you. All you got to do is repackage, add a few things to it, send it out, and you can watch things come off your report one by one. And a lot of people like to get Credit Karma. However, you need a paid service, a paid for service. A free service is not going to show you everything that you need to see, as well as the score may not be accurate. Credit Karma score is never accurate. Now, if you just wanted a snapshot and you already know your credit is good, you could do the Credit Karma. But then if someone has recently gotten something in your name or certain inquiries, you may not pick it. It may not pick it up. So you could have it as an extra, but always get a paid for monitoring service. Some of your credit unions and banks and credit cards will provide you with a score tracker, but it's only tracking one score. What do I mean by one score? I mean one credit bureau. They may be only tracking, remember, it's 3 bureaus. Equifax, which is here in Atlanta, Georgia. TransUnion, which is in Chester, Pennsylvania. And Experian, which is in Allen, Texas. So you actually want to monitor all 3. And I highly recommend you sending into the credit bureau your cell phone number and putting a statement on your credit file stating that you don't want them to extend credit without giving you a call on your cell phone. That prevents identity theft right there. You don't have to pay for an identity theft system. Just that statement alone will stop any creditor from extending credit. Because when they pull that credit report, that's the first thing they're going to see. And they won't give instant credit unless you're standing in front of them. Like some people go to department stores and you're in Nordstrom's and you apply for a Nordstrom card at the register because they're going to give you a discount or whatever the case may be. Well, what will happen is they're going to get when that credit is pulled, they're going to get a call down at that register, and the person is going to put you on the phone. You're going to get on the phone and you're going to have to answer a series of questions, and they may even call your phone. They're going to call your cell phone, and then they'll go ahead and approve you. So that's another way to protect yourself. So even if someone stole your wallet, you lost your wallet, or someone broke into your car and got a hold of your pocketbook, whatever the case may be, that will prevent them from being able to go out and just start opening up accounts in your name, okay? So, another thing I'd like to tell you is a tip on building credit. See, once you understand credit, like the young man who called in earlier who was saying about a 630 score and things of that nature, and I was explaining to him about one account, wherein you could have one account and have a 700 score. So I call that an inflated score because it doesn't have any foundation, any history. So with not having any foundation of history, what you can do, if you have a friend, a parent, or someone that trusts you and you trust them, and they have a credit card or two or three actually, and they are paying on that credit card every month on time, and they understand the 30% rule, then they could add you as an authorized user. And when the card come, the extra card with your name on it, come to their house, they can just cut the card up. Not that you want to use the card to use their credit or to purchase with their credit card, but you do want to use their credit. You want to use their credit history. So if that card is 5 or 10 years old, you just change the dynamics of your credit file, because now you just gave yourself 5 or 10 years of history along with the one account that you have. So with that being said, you now have 4 trade lines on your credit file, and you can now take those 4 and depending on the lender and depending on what you're trying to purchase, you may be able to apply, and the computer system will give you an automatic approval. And by getting that automatic approval, a underwriter is not looking at your credit file, so you just got approved. That's one of the ways of manipulating the system. But you have to be careful with that, because sometimes it's not just the history, it may be the number of accounts, which could be you need 5 accounts. Then it could be another combination, the history, the number of accounts, and it could be how many accounts are in your name only. See, because on your credit file, you got codes beside the accounts. And if it's an A beside the account and it has to go to an underwriter, that's when an individual is going to look at your credit report to make this decision. That's what underwriters do. But when that underwriter look at their credit report, the underwriter is going to look at, it's an A beside the account. A stands for authorized user. If it's a J beside the account, J stands for joint account. If it's an I beside the account, I stands for an individual account. So there are a lot of things on the credit report that you need to know what it means. And again, we have the information for you to fast track you with this process, wherein really, if it's a negative account, it doesn't matter about those codes and things of that nature for the purposes of removing them. But it does matter for the purposes of if you're trying to build credit. And when you're trying to build credit, a lot of times people don't realize you can get a CD and borrow against it. I don't care if it's a $3,000 CD, $5,000 or $10,000. You get that, you borrow against it, and you pay the money back. Yeah, you're paying on your own money, but what you're really doing, you're building a relationship with a lending institution. In addition to that, you're building your credit file and your credit score. And then when you're ready to get an unsecured card, it's going to affect the limit they give you. Okay? Another tip on building credit. Another tip on building credit is that if you do not have if you do not have a family member or a friend, all over the internet there are companies that sell trade lines. However, don't just buy the trade line by the price. You have to buy the trade line based on history. So you may have you may have an account for $600. You may have, but it may be 6 months old, and it may be $30,000. That account isn't going to do you any good at all. That account won't do you any good. What you need is an account that's giving you history. Most accounts don't impact your credit score unless they are at least 2 years old. And a 2-year-old account with a $1,500 limit will impact your credit file more than a $30,000 account for 9 months. So don't just get caught up into the high credit. It's the history. So again, those are a couple of the ways that you can build credit with a weak or inflated file. Okay? Now, another thing I want you to take into consideration is the Fair Credit Reporting Act has a lot of sections that deal with the various areas of the credit report. One of the things you have to understand is when you start dealing with, let's say you have identity theft, someone has used your credit file, then it can become quite extensive. Yes, you can get a police report. Yes, there's a section in the Federal Fair Credit Reporting Act that you would attach to your information, which we have that all in our package. But also there's a complaint you fill out at the Federal Trade Commission, and you attach your police report as well, and you send that in. This information, it sounds hard, whatever the case may be, but really it's easy. It's easy to deal with identity theft. That's the easy. I mean, it may take a while because, again, you're going to get pushback from the Bureau. And the reason you're going to get pushback from the Bureau is because the Bureau is representing their client. Who is their client? As I said earlier in this session, their client is the lenders, because the lenders pay them to be able to pull credit, report credit. And so if the lender has reported that an account is late, if the lender report that they have repossessed a car voluntarily or involuntarily. So whether they come and take the car out of your yard or pick it up while you're at Walmart, that's involuntarily. Or they come to your house and you surrender it, or you call them and tell them to come get it. The only difference between the two is one of them is an I-8 for voluntary, involuntary is an I-9. Both of them is bad credit, and it's a repo, and it would damage your credit report. So when you're dealing with the Bureau, if they have, and if that's identity theft and a wrong report, then when you attach the documents from our package, along with doing the other things I explained earlier, the credit bureau still may tell you that they verified it and that is you. And it could be clearly someone bought a car in your name somewhere else, probably even another state. But they're only pushing back because if they were to allow everybody who sent in a challenge on accounts and they were to just accept those letters just because they were sent in and looked good and certified, then it would be no need for the creditors to pay them. Why would they pay them to report and as soon as someone challenged, they take it off? So you got to understand the position of the credit bureau. They have an obligation to the creditor. So sometimes you may send something and they send you a letter, but I'm going to tell you how you know that they're just giving you pushback. You know exactly what you put in that package. You know whether you put ID, Social Security card, a bill, or whatever. You know exactly what you put in the package. Well, their pushback letter will end up asking you for something that you know that you sent them. So then you end up sending it, basically you just repackage and send them the same thing all over again. You may have to send it 3 times, but I guarantee you it will come off. So for those of you listening to the show, we're getting ready to take another break, and we have a few more minutes, about 15 minutes left in the show. I would like for you to call in if you have any questions. Okay? We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Find a reliable source of CBD products. Introducing Holistic Wellness Boutique, a revolutionary collection of CBD tinctures, CBD topicals, CBD edibles, CBD pet products, and other relevant CBD products that help you incorporate CBD into your everyday lifestyle. The best part? Through our special Radiant Transformations program, Dr. Alea Daniel, PharmD, a well-regarded wellness coach, licensed pharmacist, and the mind behind the idea of Holistic Wellness Boutique, will also introduce you to a healthier lifestyle through proper education, nutrition, and a thorough medication evaluation to make the most of our exemplary CBD products. If you are struggling with a chronic condition, we can help you discover how to live a more holistic lifestyle through wellness coaching and the proper selection of hemp-derived CBD products. Visit holisticwellnessboutique.com to schedule a consultation or order an audacious combination of hemp-derived CBD products that will rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit.
Okay, we're back, and I'm going to close by saying thank you very much for tuning in. We have a lot more information dealing with credit repair, and understanding the credit bureaus. That was part 1 today. Next Monday, we're coming back at 7 o'clock with part 2. Hopefully, you all have some questions that you'll be able to call and get answers to your questions. And of course, hopefully you will have gone to coach_roy.com. As the week progresses, we're going to be adding more packages and more information based on some of the questions that were asked, some of the questions on the Facebook page, and some of the questions that came through on YouTube. Thank you very much. I'm Coach Roy. See you next week.
Y'all, I'm Dynasty Smith, and I'm your host for The Flavor, where we're going to be showcasing some of the hottest independent artist videos from all around. So y'all tune in every Wednesday at 8 o'clock just by typing into your YouTube bar, TV 1061. So if you go into your YouTube...